a card for you guys for July 7th, 2026. And this will be your reading for today. Wow, Taurus. You got the Wheel of Fortune in the uprights. That's good luck, karma, life cycles, destiny, turning point, change, ups and downs, unpredictability. Okay. Yes. Yes, we got the Wheel of Fortune. So, the Wheel of Fortune rose into your reading today with the confidence of someone who has absolutely no intention of asking for your opinion first. Hey, Taurus, I know. You had a plan. You had a backup plan. You had a backup for the backup. You already mentally committed to the same routine for the next 6 months, and honestly, you were feeling pretty good about it. The wheel looked at it all and smiled and gave itself a dramatic spin. Anyways. So, this isn't happening to throw your life into chaos. It's happening because you've quietly outgrown the version of the life you've been clinging to. And honestly, you've been standing in front of a door that's been unlocked this whole time, convincing yourself it's safer not to open it because you don't know what's on the other side. Meanwhile, the universe has been standing behind you for weeks saying, whenever you're ready, whenever you're ready, before eventually deciding, actually, we're just going to open it. That's the energy surrounding you right now, Taurus. Not destruction, it's not punishment, it's movement. The Wheel of Fortune reminds you that life moves in cycles. There are seasons of planting, seasons of waiting. There's seasons of growth and seasons where everything seems to change overnight. You spent enough time in the waiting season, Taurus. Come on. The wheel has it's spinning, it's turning now. And whether you realize it or not, you're already moving into something different. You may notice little shifts at first, the conversation that seems ordinary but lingers in your mind, the opportunity that appears completely by accident, the invitation you almost decline because staying home sounds easier, the random idea that won't stop coming back. These aren't interruptions, Taurus. They're breadcrumbs. And the funny part, you'll probably spend 3 days convincing yourself they mean absolutely nothing before realizing they were exactly what you needed, Taurus. Come on. One thing the wheel wants you to understand is that not every surprise is a problem. Some surprises are promotions, some are friendships, some are unexpected love stories, and some are simply discovering that the restaurant you swore you never tried now has your favorite dessert. Growth has a strange sense of humor. For real, for real. Honestly, for your career, and like purpose, I would say that you've been working harder than most people realize. Others see the finished product, they don't see the work you did to get there. They don't see the hours spent thinking, planning, researching, second guessing, or even quietly carrying the responsibilities but without asking for recognition. They don't see the hard long nights y'all work and pull through just to smile or take care of the people you love every day. The wheel says your efforts are beginning to catch up with you in the best possible way, Taurus. A door may open that you didn't even knock on, and someone may recommend your name when you're not even in the room, Taurus. An opportunity could arrive that feels almost too easy, causing your Taurus instincts to become immediately suspicious. You'll be like, what's the catch? Like, this kid is gotta be this is too good to be true. Sometimes the catch is simply believing that you're worthy of receiving something good without fighting for every inch of it. And I know that's a Taurus thing because we literally fight for everything we need and want and just to survive out here. So I understand. And honestly, don't talk yourself out of opportunities because they arrive differently than what you expected. It might not come the way you think, but it might come in a different way. You just have to be a little bit open with yourself and with the situation to, receive blessings from it. So fortune has a habit of taking unusual routes. So you never know, okay? Now, Taurus, let's talk about money. Hey, come journey. Let's talk about money, okay? No, put your wallet down. The whale isn't saying go spend everything. It also isn't saying hide every dollar under your mattress until the year 2042. It's a balance. You can spend money, but don't spend all of it. And I understand. I'm a Taurus. Trust and believe that we just be spending money just because we be like, yeah, we got it, so we don't care. We just spend it, and we gotta stop doing that because hello, we living in 2026. And there's too much going on, and you feel me? It's already hard enough. We gotta stop acting like that. You feel me? As a Taurus, Taurus to Taurus. Okay. You're naturally gifted at building security, but sometimes your desire to feel safe turns into believing you can never enjoy what you work so hard to create. You just have to find a way to do what you want and do it in a way where you're not have to spend all your money just to do it and feel good. Like you should have a balance where you should have something left in your pocket if you did go in and, splurge on yourself or something like that, stuff like that. So as long as you keep it balanced, you should be good, Taurus. For real, for real. Um, Honestly, I would just say, like, buy the nice coffee once in a while. Not all the time, but sometime. Replace the thing you've been saying, that you'll replace eventually. And yes, you probably deserved it, but the will has spoken. You gotta save shit. You gotta, lock in and don't just spend all your money, all right? Because trust and believe that I feel y'all. What I got for y'all in love with this card. Love feels lighter under this card. If you've been carrying old disappointments, they're beginning to lose their grip. If you're single, stop assuming the next meaningful connection has to arrive in some dramatic movie-worthy way, because it might not be coming, in the way you expect. It might be different, and it might be something that you never would have thought. So don't think it's gonna be a certain way, and just don't think of the outcome before the outcome even happens, okay? It might begin because someone laughed at the same, like, crazy joke that you did, because you kept running into each other, because one conversation, you know, became like 10 of them. The wheel loves natural timing. If you're in a relationship, remember this: your partner cannot read your mind. Even if you've been dropping, what you consider extremely obvious hints, they're hints to you, Taurus. But to everyone else, they're like advanced puzzles, and they can't put it together, They just can't. They'll be confused if you don't use your words. So, oops, that slid. Well, we're gonna leave those right there. Um, it will help people, save you from confusion and stuff like that. So, with your friends and family, honestly, I see that someone around you is changing too. Give them room though. Not everyone grows at the same speed, and not everyone, silence means distance. Sometimes people disappear for a little while because life gets too loud for them. You could reach out, send a message, and make a plan, but just don't wait for like another 4 months because you're trying to decide on the perfect restaurant. All right, because that might take a long, it might do too much. And really, I feel like I should tell y'all that your spirit guides is complaining. Whoa, they talk about, yeah, they've been trying. Repeated numbers, perfect timing, random songs, and conversations that answer questions you never asked out loud in your dreams. Tiny coincidences that aren't feeling so tiny anymore. And meanwhile, you responded with, huh? And then continue grocery shopping. The wheel says that you're more intuitive than you give yourself credit for. The signs don't have to be dramatic for real, Taurus. Sometimes guidance feels surprisingly ordinary. Pay attention to what keeps returning. There's usually a reason. It might be a sign, or, it's just telling you that you're not, you still need to learn another lesson that you still keep failing to learn. Stuff like that. So honestly, it's telling you need to release. And you need to release the belief that stability only comes from things staying the exact same. And because that's 100% not true. Real stability comes from knowing you'll be okay even when things do change. That's a stronger foundation. Release the need to know every outcome before taking the first step. Release comparing your timeline to everyone else's, Taurus. And release the idea that comfort and happiness are always the same thing. Sometimes they're not. So the lesson would be like, the will isn't asking you to become someone else. It's asking you to trust a version of yourself that's becoming, ready for more. You don't have to rush. You don't have to become reckless at all, Taurus. I promise you. No one expects a Taurus to wake up tomorrow and suddenly decide skydiving sounds relaxing. Let's keep our keep our expectations realistic, okay? Because doing too much is just gonna put you in a hole, okay? But at least you could say yes to an invitation if you do get asked out or something like that. Apply for that opportunity, start that project, answer that text, take the chance that feels exciting, instead of like the only one that feels familiar, because familiar stuff might just keep you in that hole that you feel, stuck in. So try different stuff, take a chance. And Taurus, you've spent enough time building a life that feels safe. Now it's time to build one that feels exciting. Luck isn't always, lightning striking. Sometimes luck is simply being willing to walk through the door when it opens. The wheel is turning, the timing is shifting, the chapter is changing, and somewhere in the middle of all this wonderful unpredictability, you'll look around and realize something surprising. The changes you were most nervous about became the stories you laugh about the most now. Take a deep breath, grab your favorite snack, bring a sweater just in case, and climb aboard. The wheel has already started moving, and despite your initial, say you skeptical and stuff like that, but has a you good, because you got a pretty good track record of taking people exactly where they need to be. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for listening to this reading, and I hope to see you soon, Taurus. Bye bye.